Dede Koswara, a man or a tree? The infamous tree man. Now you may think you know this story, but have you heard the latest? Well, I'm here to discuss that with you on today's Peculiar Occurrences. Now you may remember seeing images of this man floating around the internet. Dede Koswara, the famous tree man. Dede Koswara was diagnosed with a very rare illness that has been dubbed the tree man syndrome. Tree man syndrome is a very rare disorder that is associated with several forms of skin cancer and puts you at a higher risk for skin cancer. It's actually the body's inability to really fight off HPV, the human the human papilloma virus. Alright. So basically this man had trouble fighting off HPV of the skin, and it caused scaly skin and warts to sprout up all over his body. This is something that usually occurs in people very young in life, usually between 1 and 20 years old, though on a rare occasion it can pop up in older or elderly people. And there has been quite a few other people that's also developed this syndrome. As a matter of fact, in January 2016, there was a 25-year-old patient that was put in the hospital in Bangladesh and diagnosed with tree man syndrome. And the hospital ended up forming an entire medical board around what to do about this person's condition. I believe they ended up going through like 16 surgeries altogether trying to cure the tree man syndrome. Well, they weren't really able to cure it, but they did end up removing 11 pounds of warts from his hands, legs, feet, face, all that. And so far that's where he is in his treatment as to date. And in January 2017, there was a girl in Bangladesh that had been diagnosed with tree man syndrome. And the BBC News said she may be the first female to ever be diagnosed with this syndrome. In October 2018, a 5-year-old girl in Honduras was diagnosed with this syndrome, and so far nothing has been publicized about her condition. But the most recognizable face of the tree man condition is Dede Koswara, and that's who we're mostly going to be talking about. Now, in November 2007 is when Dede Koswara hit the scene, and his videos and his pictures started going all over the internet when the Discovery Channel and TLC did a couple of series around him and his condition. He was also the subject of a ABC's Medical Mystery episode entitled Tree Man. On August 26, 2008, he had surgery to remove more than 11 pounds of warts from his body. This surgery included a removal of a thick carpet of warts on his hands, along with the horns that were protruding from his hands, with the removal of the smaller warts on his hands, torso, and feet. And then they tried to cover and graft skin over his hands. In all, 96% of the warts were removed, and this was documented by both TLC and the Discovery Channel. The surgeries were such a success that he could once again enjoy things like Sudoku, and he could actually wear flip-flops again, where before he couldn't even wear any sort of shoes. However, his warts ended up returning, and it came about that he may end up having to have 2 surgeries per year just to manage the warts. The Discovery Channel ended up funding a blood analyst test for him and found that his immune system could not fight off yeast infections. He was offered to have more tests run to see if it was treatable, and the doctor was actually optimistic about it, but he refused. In 2011, he had a series of new medical procedures done to him to try to remove the warts, but found that no matter what he did, they just kept regrowing. At that point, he had had about 3 surgeries since his major surgery in 2008. His condition greatly affected his everyday life and his personal relationships. The warts themselves were crippling, leaving him barely able to take care of himself or do anything for himself. And in his community, the other people in town believed that they were the result of a curse. And his wife of 10 years ended up leaving him after he was unable to support her and their children any longer. On January 30th, 2016, at age 42, Dede passed away. Due to complications with his condition, including hepatitis and liver and gastric disorders, according to some doctors. 3 months before he died, he was checked into a hospital. According to his sister, he was unable to feed himself or even speak because he was so weak. His sister also said that Dede had remained estranged from the rest of the family once he had gotten his condition up to the time of his death, but he always stayed hopeful for a cure. A nurse had said that Dede wanted to get better despite his disease, and that he was coping with his situation, although people thought he was cursed. The nurse said he often stayed very bored, laying in bed all day, smoking. There wasn't really much else he could do. His hands and feet just didn't work right, and all he really wanted to do was go back to his job as being a carpenter. Unfortunately, he never got that chance. And I just wanted to take a chance to say, rest in peace to Dede Koswara, that I hope your death was not in vain. I believe that your condition and all the time you spent in hospitals will do wonders for medical science and actually finding a cure to this debilitating disease one day. And just through videos like this, showing awareness, getting awareness out there, just the fact that you were brave enough to put yourself on the internet and on TV, that brings awareness to other people that are going through what he had gone through. And I really hope all this was not in vain. So what do you think about this peculiar man? I think this is such a sad story of a man with such a debilitating disease who was ostracized from his community and thought of as cursed. I think it's very sad, and I hate how he was treated in life. Hopefully the memory of him will be treated better. But I want to know what you think about this down in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to check out my description box for your peculiar occurrence gear. We got some really great stuff as well. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this out to all your peculiar friends. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you know when I upload. And until next time, keep your eyes peeled for all things peculiar. Do 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 do. Yeah.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.